Muslims are terrorists, Jews are cheap, and Christians are self-righteous, nonsensical loonies. Not to mention all the other religions. Does this sound familiar to you? Have any of these words ever left your mouth? As the population in America rises, so does the ignorance. I fear that that is due in part to the taboo that the government has placed on what I like to call the other F word, faith. As a person of faith, and as a person with friends of different faiths, I find that one of the highest places of anxiety for me is in the classroom, where not only have I been chastised, but I've seen my friends be criticized for our faiths. I've realized that although America is a place of religious freedom, it is also a place of religious silence, due to laws that only allow scientific theories to be taught in schools. Result: students should not only teach evolution, but also schools should not only teach evolution, but also Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and all the other religions that share this beautiful country. Not in an attempt to, as a friend of mine put it, brainwash rational people into speaking to themselves on a regular basis, but as a way to try to dispel some of the bad blood between faiths this country seems to be drowning in lately. America has always been one of the only places where it is possible to live beside a Hindu and a Pastafarian and an atheist and coincide with them, for the most part, relatively peacefully. But what's the point of boasting diversity if you don't even make an effort to understand, even yet, if it's taboo to do so? I can't wrap my mind around it. According to ADL.org, a website devoted to listing laws and ways to cope with religious issues in schools, not only is it unlawful to encourage students' religious beliefs and practices, teachers, administrators, and parents are warned to be cognizant of the dangers of bringing religion into the classroom. I think the only danger religion poses is the danger of the people who don't understand it. Like the danger two kids who were denied that understanding posed. On April 20th, 1999, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold walked into their school and targeted, among others, two young women who, upon being asked if they believed in God, bravely replied yes and never breathed again. One of the shooters screamed, "Why?" as they pulled that trigger on Casey Bernal and Rachel Scott. Why? 15 people died that day. Of those were Harrison Klebold. Hundreds of people screamed and cried and hid under tables, frightened for their very lives, wondering if their heartbeats were slowly running out, panicked beside students fearing the same thing. Yet I'd venture to say that Eric and Dylan were possibly the two most frightened. Why? I'd like to suggest that if they had understood what their classmates believed, that they might not have had so much hate for them, that maybe Cassie would be a mother or a doctor or something extraordinary. But most importantly, that we could all tolerate beliefs that are not our own. I'll be able to handle death when it comes, but not another boy asking why. The nation can't handle it either. If you fear and hate what you do not understand, then you will live in a box and fear the air you breathe. I only ask that the government would allow required teachings on religion in public schools in an effort to increase tolerance for what you may not believe. Thank you.